Welcome to Reviving Real Foods. My name is Megan.
I'm Charlotte.
And today I wanted to talk to you about setting up and taking down the electric fence that I used from Premier One. This is their PoultryNet. It's the 100-foot, 48-inch, I think it's PoultryNet Plus, and it has the double spikes. And I use it for all of my animals. It's great because it keeps everybody in no matter what, and I can reuse it for the different animals that come through without having to change fences just because I have a new animal. So I have this set up, and I'm gonna take a fence down and show you what I do to make sure that it doesn't get tangled and what I watch for to make sure my fence stays hot. And then I'll show you how I set it up on the other side. So we'll get started. Let's see. So your fence will come with these strings. They kind of look like shoestrings. And I use them to tie the two posts together to keep it tight at the corners. And when you're putting your fence in, you want to watch this last ring of electric here and make sure it doesn't get down below your post. If it does, it will short out and you won't have it'll ground out and it won't have a charge anymore. The other thing is when you're picking up your fence, you want to keep all of the points going the same direction and in line so that they don't get tangled in your net. So I always keep it horizontal. And there are 16 posts on the 100-foot net. I'm gonna pick up half of them. It weighs about 23 pounds if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna pick up half, lay it down neatly, and then I'm gonna go the other direction and pick up the other half the other way. So I'm gonna go to my right, going this direction, and then when I come back, I'm gonna be picking up with the points to my left, and that'll make everything nice and neat. Because I move about 6 fences twice a day, that saves my arms a little bit with having to carry 23 pounds constantly. So here we go. If you make sure you pull straight the direction that your spikes are in the ground, because if you come up at an angle, it's not going to want to pull out. So if you come up straight the same direction as the spikes, and I'm going to match spike to spike, and that's 2 posts, and then I got 3 posts. So I'm just grabbing the middle of the post straight up the same direction as the post, as the spike. There's 4, 5,
7.
Helpers is nice too.
8.
Okay, now I'm going to lay it down
Swing it
straight
backwards.
like that. So now I have half a net picked up. Now the great thing about this is you can take these anywhere. So you can see I have this going through the trees. You do have to be careful then not to get it tangled, but you don't need that much space to put these. When I, hold on Charlotte, when I pick them up coming the other direction, I'm gonna turn it sideways and I'll show you so that I don't get tangled in the branches.
So these are the electrifiers, or kind of a connectors, and basically if you have 2 fences and then 1 energizer, you can just put 1 energizer and then you can connect these together to make sure the electricity goes through both fences. And you also want to be careful because this part's sharp.
So the first half of the net I went to the right with the spikes, so this time I'm going to go to the left with the spikes. So I have my spikes going to my left. I'm still going to keep this horizontal to the ground, but now that I have a pathway to go through between the trees, I'm going to actually turn this in the direction with the pathway, and I'm going to pick up the posts going this direction. So, found some cow pie.
Gross.
Yeah, so just be careful you keep it to the left. Like that. So I'm keeping my spikes together. I'm just watching out for tree branches here. And then I'm just kind of put it in front of my body and move sideways.
And we have a helper.
We spooked him for whatever reason.
can lay this down, and I have one nice net ready to go and be set up. There's our friends.
Bye!
Okay, so now I'm gonna pick up all of the posts together, and I just throw them over my shoulder. And because I have a good distance to go, I'm gonna load them up on the ATV and then take it to where I'm gonna set up for the next group of animals. So everyone's gonna have to figure out their own way of moving the nets, but this is what I do. I put one in the front, one in the back, and one in the passenger seat. I only have two taken down right now though, so we'll get that one over here. Yes, that is poison oak at our feet. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Coming with me? Watch out for the spikes.
Fences work pretty good, but every now and again you get an animal that cares more about being on the other side than being in the fence.
Well, that's Strawberry. She's a new heifer, so she's new to our farm and she's only been in the fence for a little while, so I turned it off this morning, and then we've had other things that we were doing. So when I set my fence up, I go ahead and lay it down. I lay all the fences down in the pattern that I want. That way I don't have to redo, take out and put back if something doesn't match. And I do my best to get corner to corner, end to end, which just makes it easier for me in figuring out where I'm moving everybody. So I will just drop the first one, and then I let the posts fall as I walk forward and go the direction I want to go. So here I have 3 fences coming together, and I'm going to go ahead and tie, I just do bows on mine. I'm going to connect these 2 outer ones, and then the one here I'm going to use the longer. I'm going to connect these 2 because for some reason this one is much longer, so it'll be easier for me to connect the 3rd fence with the longer end. Ideally you want it on this green string as opposed to the black, and so I'm going to bring this one over here and I'm going to slide the poly in with the clip. So now all 3 fences are connected and anything else I have connected going forward. So I do have to, unconnect some things depending on which groups I want to be electrified on one energizer, which the energizers are a whole nother topic. So your spikes go one direction or the other. So I'm going to just step here, and that's how you get it in the ground. If the ground's really dry or you have really hard clay, it can be harder. We've gone to drilling holes, pre-drilling the holes before we put the spikes in like August when we haven't had any rain and it's super dry. In certain areas, the ground gets pretty hard. But most of the time, our ground is conducive to just stepping in the posts. So I do like to do each of my ends, so I'm going to go ahead and walk to the other end and start that one. Then I'm going to pull the corners tight to where I know that my fences are going to meet how I want them.
And the girls get impatient when they see Megan making the next paddock.
I'm going to come to the other corner, and this will give me a 4-fence paddock. So 2 of the fences were already up from the perimeter of their other paddocks, and having the 4 corners makes it where I can change my mind of which direction I'm going with the animals if I need to. I'm going to stick in that one. So when I'm stepping in, I'm just watching and making sure that this bottom ring is not touching the metal and it's on the white post.
What she means is if this falls all the way down past like that, now you have a problem.
Now it's grounding out, which they can be kind of hard to get back up.
She's very happy that I did that to show you.
Yeah, that one wasn't hard. That one's probably slipped down before. But I've had to get tweezers when they aren't, when they're tight. You can't get them back up on the white part. I don't know how they get down there. It doesn't happen all that often, but it sure is when you're testing your fence and it's not hot and you can't figure out why. It's like the last place you look. This one is a broken post, which I need to replace. But one of the bulls or something actually hit this and it literally broke the post.
But those can be replaced?
Yes, they can be. I just haven't done it. That Teflon post has been my temporary permanent solution. have the last fence to do and I can move the cows in here.
Hi, honey. A maple.
That's how I take down and set up my fences. Usually I'm doing 2 paddocks at the same time, but because we had to cross the driveway, I had to use some extra fences to make that happen. So I will be moving everybody, picking up the back fence and doing this again to get the bulls' new grass to come on today. So that's it.
Thank you for watching Reviving Real Foods. Like and follow for bleed's sake.